Hi digital planners, this is Tina Phillips from A Wild Plan, and in this video I'm going to show you kind of my method of creating these little digital planners with using the little digital planner themes I'm about to put up in my shop, and I'll kind of give you an idea of how I organize planners when I create them, and hopefully it'll give you some ideas on how to create your own. Hopefully using these little planner themes, and hopefully it'll get you up and running without having to deal with too much headache. I'm trying to solve some problems by giving you a head start and letting you have more fun with them versus all the pain and agony that you can get. And this is the planner I'm going to create. I'm using the Denim and Pearls theme. And right now I'm in master pages, but let me show you what the planner looks like itself. So this is the cover. These are my dividers, and as you can see in the left side, I'm kind of using Keynote's hierarchy levels in here, and they go up to 6 different levels, and right now I have 4. But it really does help you organize your sections as you go. And this will also help you in the long run when you're creating new areas. And I'll kind of show you my method of creating these things pretty fast and quick. I use master pages, and that's kind of what you get when you buy these planner themes, is that it literally is a Keynote theme along with all the separate pieces. So if you're not a Keynote user, you can use PowerPoint. You can use Zoom Notes, I would imagine, anything it can take images or layers or anything like that. You could use these as parts to create a planner in that program. So I'm trying to become application agnostic while creating planners and helping people just get up and running with cute stuff that they don't have to sit there and worry about being Illustrator magicians or anything like that. So what you're going to do, I'm going to go ahead and show you. This is the planner itself. These are all the slides. You want to go to Edit Master Slides, and as you can see, what you'll get is just let me show you. This is what you'll get. You'll get the cover, which does not have the image in it, which I'll show you how to place. You get one blank page, kind of a starter page, and then you get all the little most of them. There are a couple pieces in the images that you get that you can, like a horizontal spine, that kind of thing, that you can play around with. And then these are most of the spines, and these are all the little paper edges, and also dividers is a staple divider that you can play with. And you can create as many different types of planners and layouts as you want with this, and I'll kind of show you how these pages are created and put together. So let's go ahead, and this is what we're going to start looking at. Let me go ahead and get rid of these little guides. These are kind of a pain. Okay, so this is the cover. So let's go ahead and look at the cover. And when you start your planner, you really do need to kind of think through what you're going to look for. And today I'm just going to create a very basic planner with a month, weeks, and a daily. And then they'll have dividers, and each divider will have its own color. And I'll show you how I do that without really using any more than I have to when it comes to theme page, when it comes to master slides. That's the word I'm looking for, master slides. I only really think when you do master slides, the more you do, the more weight you're going to add to your planner. So actually maybe 3 or 4 is probably the max that you should probably try to do. That way your planner will stay small, so when you start to use it inside of GoodNotes or whatever application you use it in, it doesn't become so cumbersome that it starts to get laggy. And the way I construct these master pages is I do it very differently than some of the tutorials that you've probably seen where they stack everything. You have a whole background, then you have a whole page on top of that, and that's actually where a lot of the weight can come from, is because when Keynote actually creates these PDFs, they just kind of like flatten everything on top of it, but all the weight of, like, say you have a huge pink background, even though you don't see 90% of that pink background, it's still there. So it kind of still sees it as far as like how many megabytes or how much weight in the file size it sees. So what I do is I've created these pieces to surround the page. So everything is around the page. So you can see this little spine here is independent. And this little wood piece is actually very small. You only see a little bit of it. It can get bigger. There's a mask on here, so if you wanted to play with that, you can. As you can see, like here's the rest of them. You can see a little bit of wood there. I've always kind of like play with the mask itself to kind of like, so I don't see it when I'm working. So what we need to do right now, this is the cover. So we're going to go ahead and go to media, and we want to choose. And here is the source folder that you're going to see with the, yeah, this is denim. Okay, so with denim, and I give you 2 covers that you can play around with. You're certainly welcome to use something else, but like I said, I kind of give you a starter page. And as you can see, it kind of came in above that, that little curl. So what we're going to do is going to arrange that, and we're going to send it to the back. And we can also mess with the edit mask, and you're going to hide that little overlap there. These are also used for the vertical template that you get. You also get a portrait theme as well that reuses all these same, because really from landscape to portrait, they aren't that different. So you're using the same pieces, same everything, but there's a slight adjustment when you're going from landscape to portrait. So as you can see, this is kind of one of the little special that I kind of talked about this a little bit. There's 2 different kinds of pages. There's some that you can sit there and use and have page colors, which I will go over in just a second. So you have those, and then you have these with like a little white lip on them to hide stuff. So let's go back to our thing, and we're going to use that lip. We're going to leave it there. And now that we have, this is our cover. We like our cover. We're real happy with it. I want to go ahead and just copy only the spine and then the wood. And this is how you kind of get consistency. Go ahead and cover that up because I always get confused on these. And let me go ahead and delete these. Paste. And as you can see, this is the wood. It needs to be kind of like edited a little bit. So we don't want to see that. Because what we're going to do is we're going to be able to change our pages and change it by just changing the background. So as you see right here, you can just change the background, change it to green, or you could use your color fill. This little color thing pops up. Use your eyedropper. And I don't have any of the other tabs in here. I'll show you that in just a second. Let's go back to white. Okay. So we have our pages. This is kind of a default on there, is to move this. But let's go ahead and leave that there. And then you have the other piece of wood, which you can change and move around if you want to as well, or if you don't want it and just want the pages, you could do that too. But we're gonna, since we're replicating this, we're gonna go ahead and do this. So let's go ahead and find this little pink. Here's the little pink tab that I used to create my little lace background there. Well, I always get the 90. There we go. And you can make this as big or small as you want. And I know it's on top right now, which we will play with in a minute. But it's really pretty easy to play around with. And this might be a little bit messy, but I'm trying to just show a... Let's go ahead and just select all of these. And I want to group them. Place that there, pull that back out. There we go. And I want to select my spine, bring that to front. So now I have like a little lace background, just to kind of add a little bit of fun stuff there. And let's go ahead, and our next step will be, let's go ahead and do these little ribbons, which, because they're pretty easy. We're gonna go over here, select our little ribbons. Oh, let's try, let's use this one, and this one, because those have a little bit of glitter on them. So that's a little bit more fun. And we can just kind of put those on top. And I like to add a little bit of variety in the sizes and kind of separate those out a little bit. Okay. And let's go back and select our tabs. You can see them here. Let me go ahead and just copy these because this kind of took a little bit longer to... All you're going to do is pick the colors that you want, and since I want them to be exactly like this other one here, go ahead and copy, and we'll go back up here, we'll paste. And we just removed all the hyperlinks on there since we copied it into another one. So that's something else I just learned. I didn't realize I could do that. So go me. All right. So here's our tabs. And we need to get them into the back. So let's go ahead and deselect that. Since we have our background selected and our tabs, we can go ahead and put those to the back. And so now here's my tabs. I put them to the back. There's 12. These are going to be just what I needed. So what I'll do is I'll have probably 3 extra sections that I can make these little sections to, but let's go ahead. And so this will be our blank, and you can actually go ahead and rename these when you're in the master slides. You can go ahead and label them. And then what I'm going to do is duplicate. So since once I have my page, my very blank page created for my theme, then and only then can I duplicate it. Then I'll go ahead and call this to be the month. I'll make another one, call that one a week, and then I'll make another one, duplicate, call that one a daily. Again, I only have 4. I know you see these little parts pages, but when you create your PDF, you're not going to ever use these as pages, so this gets ignored when it makes the PDF. So you don't ever have to worry about that. This is just kind of a nice, convenient way to have all your little parts, already kind of sized for you. You don't have to worry about them too much. So let's go back to the month, and we want to go ahead and put in our little insert. So in here, you're going to have page layouts. And I've tried to label these to where, you have some portrait ones, you have some landscape ones, you have sectioned out areas, you have some dot grids and lines, a grid, and you have Hobonichi. You have a Hobonichi daily, a weekly, and a monthly as well. So if you want to resize your thing to be a Hobonichi style planner, you have that too. You also have quadrants and weeks and dailies as well to kind of play around with that. And again, anytime you have any other inserts that you've used that you really like and want to combine with this, it's absolutely possible. So let's go ahead and put in a blank month. So there we go. And as you can see, it's a little bit too big. And I always kind of resize these a little bit so they don't have to be totally perfect. I'm going to leave that right here. And so that's going to be my monthly, and that's all you need, because when you actually go to the month itself in the slide is where you want to actually specify what month it is. So right now you just need the skeletal part of that month. Let's go ahead and put in a week. Once again, you're going to choose under media, under layouts. We want a week block. And this is one of the layouts you get as well. And I've had this in one of my other planners as well, and it looked like it was really well received. So I went ahead and just kept it, and I was like, I'm going to put these in my little themes. So you have this for the week, and this is all you need for now. If you want to add other things like week of or something like that that's going to be there, add whatever you want to, as long as you want it on every week. This is where you're going to add it. And let's go to our next one, which is going to be a daily. Choose. Where is my daily? There it is, daily block. Okay. And this one also is a little bit too big, but that's okay because it doesn't require much shrinking down. Okay. And if you want to line these up from day to day, you could go ahead and put down, and when you're in the blank one, create little rulers or guides. You want to show rulers when you do that, and you can put guides wherever you need to. Let's see. I'm going to hide the guides right now. Okay, so So now I have my stationary sheets. I have my blank, my month, my week, and my daily. Now what I'm going to do is I am done with master slides for right now. You're going to go back to these, but I will show you how to do that, and I'll show you what you're going to need to do after you have your pages created. So I'm going to say I'm done, and we go back to the slides. Oh, first you want to go ahead and name this My Planner. Always save your work, people. Okay, call that My Planner. And you just have your cover because that's like the first page you get. You automatically get that. You're going to go up to this and add slide. Now you see all of your master pages. So all you have to do is literally do a blank one, right? You just pull that blank sheet. But I'm going to make my dividers first. I want to make, I'm going to show you how to do this in a new way because I actually did this first and I realized there's a much more efficient way to do this. So let me show you. This is going to be my divider. So all I have to do, again, is click that little color wheel and say I want my dividers to match my little tabs there. All I have to do is select a color from that tab and it becomes the divider. Isn't that awesome? I love this. So what I'm going to do is I've created, so this could be January. That's the other beauty part, is you can start at any time you want to in the year. These are your planners. You make this your way. So all I need now is a month, and then I need a week, and then I want to duplicate that week. I'm just going to do 5. Some people do 6, and if you want to, like, whatever calendar you're following, if you want to do 6 or 5, that is totally up to you. But all I'm going to do is 5 weeks after the month, and then I'm going to add a daily. Now, this is the thing I found out and discovered today, and that was to use hierarchy levels in Keynote. And it's actually, I'm not sure if other apps do this, but I found it very helpful when trying to organize things and trying to figure out link numbers to page numbers. Because what you're going to want to do is put every single page that you want in your planner that you want to link to. So that means if your planner has a link on it, that page needs to be in the original and it needs to be set up first before you even do any one link, okay? So here's technically, this is my symbol of a month, okay? So I want to go ahead and pull this month and pull it a little bit to the right where I see that blue line and pull it in. And as you can see, it is now underneath that month, okay? And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to select all 5 of those weeks and pull it under the month. Do you see that? So now it's underneath that, so I can just sit there and roll it up when I don't want to see it. The daily, I only ever have one daily. That's my personal preference. If you want to sit there and do 30 odd days of dailies, or if you only want dailies and no weeklies, that's up to you. This is just how you're going to do it, or how I think you should do it to stay more organized. You're going to pull that daily underneath that week. And if you're one of those people that prefers your dailies underneath your weeks, you would just pull it underneath one of the weeks instead of this last one, okay? But for right now, this is a symbolic month. This is what constitutes a month in my planner, right? So here's what I'm going to do now. Now that I've created it, I'm going to duplicate it. And in order to save myself some sanity here, I'm going to use my little color fill, and each month, each tab has a specific color in the tab. I am going to select and color that tab as I go. So let me go ahead and duplicate that. Okay. There we go. That worked. Okay, apparently you need to pull out the color fill every time for that page because otherwise it doesn't get it. Okay, so let's go ahead and duplicate that. But you get the idea of what I'm doing here, and you keep duplicating it all the way through. And this one had like a slight gray tinge to it. Okay. Duplicate the whole month. Select. And then let's go ahead and pull that one again. We have yellow. I want the prettier, lighter yellow. Okay. Okay, so you get the idea. So let me just go back to my original sample planner, because this is all I'm going to do is I went ahead and duplicated each month, and then you change the background of that blank page that's in front of that month, and that becomes your divider. Okay. Now, you can, after you've gotten that done, you can sit there and go through, put all your labels, and you can label your dividers, make something fun and pretty on them and everything. But here, let me show you what I'm going to do for the links though. And so because you have the ability to kind of fold these up, you can see how each month has its own number. And some people want to link directly to the divider, and other people want to link directly to the month. And that is up to you. But this is kind of how, let me go back to how I did it over here. So we've already done the setup. Let me just kind of show you how the links work. So what I did, let me get out of, so you can see how all the links are on every page. It's a little bit faded, and that's because I created my links inside the master pages. Okay. And what I did was, after I created all my little sections here, and as you can see, I have up to 97 pages. And I have all my link things. It was pretty easy for me just to kind of take a piece of paper, write down the number, the corresponding slide number to the page that I want to link to. And I went ahead and linked to the color slides, because it'll be easier for you to see when I'm actually, after I publish it. So what I did was, so that's 2, 10, 18, 26, you get the idea. And then I went back to editing slides, and I selected each one, and then I created a new, link, and then I put the slide number that it corresponded to. Once I was done with that first page, let me show you what I did. I know this is kind of weird because you already kind of created it the first time, but because Keynote's pretty good about pasting in the right exact same place, here's what I did. I actually just copied that entire side, and then went through and deleted that side and then pasted it again. So I didn't have to sit there and go through 4 pages of doing the exact same thing. So I literally only had to set my planner links in one place, and then I just duplicated it on only the 4 stationary pages that I made. And then out of that, I went and created my entire 97, or how many ever pages I have here. I have 97 pages that those links were propagated throughout 97 pages. So there was no copy, paste, copy, paste, copy, paste, copy, paste, all the way for 97 pages. You don't need to do that anymore. You shouldn't have to. So you would just, if you have other sections that you want to make, you could absolutely do that. Just, you would make these the links instead. If you decide that you want to have other sections, like you want this blue ribbon to be a link to one thing on one page and a link to another on another page, that's where you would not do your links in your master pages and your master slides. You would do them on the page themselves, and that does require copying and pasting to every page that you want it on. You could potentially do another master page with each link, but that's kind of up to you on how you're organizing your planner. And let me go ahead and I will publish this. Let's see, Keynote, we went to export to PDF. And I did it in different ways of the best quality, and it really wasn't, I left it on best in this manner because you're not taking up the entire page. Literally, it's not. There's not a whole lot on these pages, but you can see how colorful they are, and that they're unique, and they've created a planner without too much effort. So let me go ahead and leave it at best, and this is 97 pages. Let me go ahead and call it my planner output. And we'll go ahead and export. Okay. And let's go find it here. And here's my planner output. And for 97 pages, it's 17.3 megabytes. But literally, the Keynote theme itself was 17. If you use the same, this is the same planner earlier. 16.3 was at the better version, and then 12 was at the worst. But literally, it got really fuzzy at that level. But you have the majority of the pages that you need already created, and it's only 17 megabytes, so that's not bad at all. If you have any questions on this format, please let me know. And if you want me to create a different kind of planner or a different style, let me know, and I'll go through the process of how I did it and how I would organize it. But this is essentially all that I'm doing. It's going to be the same kind of process no matter what. So you could have all these different layouts and stuff, but as long as you're using 1 to 4, that you're not using too much for each kind of thing, you can create very low resolution, or not low resolution, but low megabyte, low weighted planners and books and journals for what you need. And I sure do hope that you guys enjoy these, and you can find these on my Etsy shop for a wild plan. And I will talk to you guys later. Have a great day. Thanks. Bye.